Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out Algorand's price chart and see what is happening in the short term. And in here, the picture in my view is kind of complicated because at the same time, we have some good and also bad signs. And we are going to through every single one of them one by one. And I'm going to tell you what is my primary case right now in Algorand and what is it that we need to see in the next maybe 48 to 72 hours in order to be optimistic with more confidence. So, are you ready? Let's dive in and see what is going on. And first things first, if you remember the last time that we talked about algo, I think we were on this chart from TradingView. There we go. We were right around the lows, and the idea was that okay, most likely from the highs to about these areas, we are having an A, B, C in form of either a running flat or maybe an expanded flat, depending on whether we are going to take the low of our wave A or not. And as you can see, we took it. So now we should say this is 1, 2, 3 correction for 4, probably actually an ABC expanded flat, and then another move on the downside into our wave 5. And we said what you want to see from these areas in order to talk bullish is a good move on the upside in form of a 5-wave impulsive structure. Now, why do we need to see a rather strong bounce back in Algorand if we want to be bullish? Because you see, let's go around here. If you want to be optimistic on any chart and you want to say, for instance, we have hit our final low around this area, maybe this is like a very important support. Okay, fair enough. Then in terms of Elliott Waves, find me off of the low slowing here a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in order for me to flip bullish. This specific count is called an impulse. Rules for it are we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5 wave or wave 3 should not be the smallest wave. Pay attention, this is actually a key rule. Wave 3 should not be the smallest wave, but we also say that wave 3 is usually the biggest wave as well. Okay, this is a very important point that we are going to now use in our analysis. So in algo, the idea was that if we are having off of the lows, excuse me, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up, followed by hopefully a correction down in form of, I think you know it if you are a regular viewer, an ABC zigzag. Well, okay, what does this thing imply on a higher degree? It suggests that we are having a wave 1 correction for wave 2, and what should we do next? You know what, we should see a rather good strong move up into wave 3, 4, 5. And this, excuse me, let's just change the colors. This white 5 wave up is actually the sub waves for this wave 3 right in here. And inside it, in the previous video, we were right around, if you remember, the end of our wave 2. And well, since according at least to this count, we're going to be on our way up soon to complete the subwaves for our wave 3, makes sense to say that our move up has to accelerate quite a bit. This, my friends, is why in the previous video we said we need to see in algo in these areas a rather good bounce back. So, question, did we get a bounce back or not? The answer is yes, we did get a bounce. So far, this is about like a 10% move on the upside. Second question though, is this actually a strong move? I'm gonna say unfortunately not. Why? Because there's actually a simple reason. You see, let's just measure this move from here to about these areas. As you can see, this is, by the way, on H1 time frame. So far, this is taking us about 85 candlesticks. On the other hand, this strong move down from the highest side, about let's say 19.5 cents, only and only happened in about 30 candles, meaning what? Yes, so far at least in the current phase of that we are having in algo, bulls aren't really showing a whole lot of strength. So maybe this is going to be a correction structure. And pay attention, I said maybe, because there is still a decent chance that we are looking bullish in here, and soon we're going to get a move up. And here is how I can argue that. And by the way, I'm actually arguing this in the interest of being 100% objective. Okay, any analyst at any given moment should be able to come up with a bullish and also a bearish count at the same time. So this is in the interest of that. Please pay attention. So let's just zoom in more, and maybe it's actually best to go on 15-minute time frame so we can see the candles a bit better. Okay, I think we can all agree this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up. Also, in my view, this is yet another 1, 2, 3, probably an ABC flat for another move up into wave 5. This is a correction down. I actually already counted the subways for it. I think this is an ABC zigzag, and this can be another 5 wave on the upside. Now, in Algorand, if you insist on being bullish, then okay, I guess you can still sort of kind of argue that we may have a series of 1, 2. You see, this can be from here, I think, 5 up into 1, probably an ABC running flat into wave 2, and this move has to be a good one up into wave 3, 4, 5, which on a higher degree is going to be into this wave 3 and 4 and 5, and even, excuse me, this red 5 wave up is going to be on a higher degree into this wave 3 and 4 and 5. So as you can see, there is still a chance that in Algorand we might be bullish and optimistic, but time is actually kind of running out against this scenario. So if we want to prove that we are looking optimistic and this bullish count is indeed happening, our move up in Algorand in the next 3 to 4 days has to, this is the key word, please pay attention, has to accelerate quite a bit. Otherwise, if for instance we get maybe from here, or let's say just a bit higher, a move down in order to take these lows down here about, let's say generally the 18 cents area, okay, that is going to be a very important bearish sign, because at that point, look, I really don't think that you're going to be able to identify from here to about the highs a 5 wave. At that point, we're just going to say, you know what, maybe this was an A, B, C zigzag, generally a 3 wave movement, a correction structure and not an impulse, meaning what? Unfortunately, our move down in Algorand is going to continue, and in that phase, we are most likely going to take the lows down here about 17.5 cents, but who knows, maybe we're not that lucky and we are going to end up going quite a bit lower than that. The point that I'm trying to make is this: right now in Algorand, we should count on a move on the upside. And by the way, I actually forgot to show you this. You see, we do have a bit of an ascending channel. There we go. And one very important sign of having maybe on some lower degrees an extension structure is actually a breakout of this channel. And by that, I mean we go above the higher band of it, do a pullback, and then get a continuation of the move up, which the higher band of this channel is about, let's say, 19.1 cents. If we get something like this, great sign, we are still on track for a full V-shaped recovery. If we don't do it, and for instance, we go around the higher band of the channel, then get a rejection and get a breakdown of this ascending channel, that is going to be quite troublesome. And unfortunately, at that point, we need to have two very important things in mind. Number one, maybe unfortunately a continuation of the move down. And number two, even if you want to be optimistic and bullish and you want to still argue that we are going to hit the lows in here, then okay. Point number two is that you need to unfortunately still count on the foundation building process to take some time. I don't know, maybe about 5 to 7, 8 more days. In an ideal scenario, I'll be honest, I want to see Algorand getting out of this area ASAP, because this process has been kind of getting annoying. So if we get a move up and get out of it, that would be really, really nice. And especially if we manage to, in this phase, take this important high right in here about 20.8 cents, that would be awesome. Why? Because at that point, it is going to be pretty much confirmed that in Algo, we are having indeed an ABC, a correction structure in here and not an impulse. And since this is also a 5 wave up, well, okay, we can be bullish at that point with more confidence and say, you know what, maybe this is 1, 2, and then we're going to have a good move into wave 3 and 4 and 5. And hopefully in the next 10 days, we are going to completely recover from all this crashing event. And we are going to be back above these areas around, let's say, 22.5, 23 cents. So for now, let's be optimistic as long as we are not proven otherwise. And let's hope, and I'm going to actually change my words, we actually must see a rather good move up in order to get out of this area ASAP, okay? I cannot stress this and tell you just how important it is for us to see a very strong bounce. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Algorand's price charts. Anyway, If you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the market, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.